Welcome. Today on HHS-TV, we have information about the SEPTA budget cuts, a report about the music department's recent trip, news about Lower Merion's budget, a herd in the halls, and finally, a Rams roost. With our anchors Tata Fofana and Andrew Dew, live from the Harriton High School television studio in Rosemont, Pennsylvania, this is the RAM Report.
Good morning, Harriton. I'm Tata Fofana. Andrew will be joining us in a minute. Our top story this morning is going to affect commuters across suburban Philadelphia. Andrew Dew is with Eddie Carriega, who has the details.
So Eddie, what services will SEPTA be cutting?
So, for bus riders, SEPTA will be cutting 50 routes and shortening or realigning 63 others. For train riders, those who travel outside of the state, like New Jersey and Delaware, they will be completely cut, and for the airport line, it will be running it once every hour rather than once every 30 minutes. All fares will be sent up to 21.5%, and all hiring will be frozen.
I see. So, how will this affect residents of Lower Merion?
So, the Paoli-Thorndale line connects all of Lower Merion to Philadelphia. So, this line will be starting to run once every hour rather than once every 30 minutes on weekdays and once every 2 hours on weekends. By January, if the cuts are continuing, the Paoli-Thorndale line will be completely cut, meaning that no adults who work in Philadelphia can commute via train.
Oh wow, that's a serious problem there. How can students learn more about this affected issue?
So SEPTA is very vocal. On their website, they have all the public hearings where they can where public can testify, and they also have all the proposed cuts and a map of all the lines and what will happen to each route and train.
I see. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Switching now to Harriton News, we see them performing all the time at Harriton, but recently the concert choir took their talents somewhere a little bigger. Sam Ferencik takes us behind the scenes of an unforgettable journey.
In the first week of April, Harriton's very own concert choir made history, taking stage at the legendary Carnegie Hall.
Well, it was really, the main feeling that came over me as I walked on the stage was honor, right? To be in such an amazing space. And I was just enraptured by how grand everything was.
As conductor Jason Bizich told me, getting in wasn't easy.
We were approached by the company, I would say, in January of 2024. I actually told the company no. They asked us to apply for the featured ensemble position, and I thought to myself, we're good. Our students work so hard at Harriton, they don't need to be stressed any more than what they are. And I certainly didn't want that stress, and I didn't want to put any more stress on my colleagues. So I said no, and then they came back to me a month later. They said, we'd like to offer you this position, but we can't unless you apply. We'd like to consider you, but we cannot unless you apply. So we applied, and then we won the position.
Although recording in Carnegie Hall is prohibited, the choir sang in the Church of the Holy Trinity the night before. Carnegie Hall has been one of the most prestigious concert halls in the world since 1889, hosting icons from Mark Twain and the Beatles to Frank Sinatra, and now the Harriton Concert Choir.
The choir has been putting in a lot of work. We have not had a single day off. Mr. Bizich has seen to that. But it's been really, every day we've been just running every song as much as we could. It's been an exhausting rehearsal process.
So the process in preparing for the performances in New York took 14 months. Everything from programming to figuring out how I was going to teach the repertoire.
The ensemble had rehearsed for the last year, preparing for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They had one shot at this.
Excellent. I think they were all excellent performances. I don't think our kids could have done any better. I thought they exceeded our expectation, I think.
At Carnegie Hall, professional conductor mentioned that we were the highlight of the concert. They mentioned that we gave an exemplary performance. And we have an invite back anytime we would like to go.
If you want to check out the choir, you can watch our spring concert on the HarritonTV YouTube channel. In Rosemont, Pennsylvania, Sam Ferencik, HarritonTV.
Thanks for that, Sam.
On June 4th, the Harriton class of 2025 will be graduating. On the newest Heard It in the Halls episode, we spoke to seniors about their time at Harriton.
She don't believe in shooting stars, but she believe in shoes and cars.
I'm Julia Palat.
I'm Paul Dixon.
And on today's episode, we'll be doing...
My name's Oliver Lutzo, and we will be doing Senior Edition. Heard It in the Hall. What? If you could take a piece of Harriton, what would it be?
Probably some of the Tralalero, Tralala, Porcosini and Porcala.
Sahur. Mr. Ed's cookies. The grass, yes. I'll take a bench. What advice would you give to underclassmen that they need to know?
Get a calendar. Honestly, mark your schedule, mark your work, cause I always forgot mine.
Just try hard.
Make really good friends with your teachers. Start studying for your SATs right now.
In your own lane and stay out those bathrooms.
Dip your face in ice water every morning.
It gets worse.
Just be excited for summer.
Did you peak in high school, Charles Klein?
Probably. No.
No!
I know she did.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope.
No.
So, we're not really honest here.
No.
I'm thinking peaked in middle school, peaked sophomore year.
That's the intention, yeah.
That's the intention. So, where are you going now?
Nowhere, hopefully. Yeah, I might have peaked in high. I think I might have peaked in elementary school.
Really?
Peaked in elementary school together.
Yeah, actually you're not wrong.
No.
How about you?
I think I may have, but we'll see in the future. Do we guys have some teachers we want to shout out?
Shout out to Mr. Nicola. Mr. Warren is the GOAT.
Mr. Bischoff and Mr. Hasty. He makes me feel normal.
I think I'd like to shout out Mr. O, my math teacher for the past 3 years. Mr. Siegel, sophomore year. The GOAT. We remember. The GOAT. We remember.
Mrs. Warkheimer.
Mrs. Warkheimer?
Mrs. Warkheimer.
Mr. Scotland, best teacher ever.
Mr. I and Mr. Bischoff.
Mr. Midzak.
Mr. Lone. Mr. Slosky. Mr. Tudor.
Shout out to,
All right, whatever. Thank you so much for a great 2025 year. Back to the newsroom. I'm Julie Palat.
I'm Paul.
I'm Oliver Lutzo, and this is SpongeBob.
Congratulations to all of our seniors.
As some of you may have heard, Lower Merion is experiencing a budget deficit, meaning that they will cut some key services in our school. This past school year, the total budget for the district was $329 million. Due to rising costs, property reassessments, and a couple of other factors, the district would need a budget of $344 million in the 2025-2026 school year to maintain its current services and operations. The district relies on the allowable Act 1 index to cover the change. However, it means that it will only cover $10 million. This means that the district needs to find ways to save $5 million. Although the district is planning to do a myriad of things to save costs, the ones that may affect students are the following. If approved, there will be no more half days, and those days will either be a full day off or a full day of school. Testing days will only have one bus run. The 4:30 late bus is being removed at the high school level, as well as the 5:30 bus is also being removed at the middle school level, and there will also be no more late buses on Friday. When asked if these changes will be permanent, Lower Merion's Director of Community Relations, Amy Buckman, told us it is impossible to now know. She also noted that most other local school districts do not offer late buses. Once again, it is essential to note that this proposal has not been approved yet and will be voted on at the board meeting in June. We'll keep you updated on the results.
Off Montgomery Avenue near the Rite Aid, did you know there was once a racetrack there?
Actually, I do. The only reason I do now know is because I filmed this episode of Ram's Roots with Sam Ferencik.
In 1876, Philadelphia hosted its Centennial Exposition. This was the first World's Fair held in America, celebrating America's 100th year anniversary. Philadelphia welcomed nearly 10 million visitors during its 6-month run. To prepare, the city built a number of new structures. Two still stand today: Memorial Hall, which is now the Please Touch Museum, and the Ohio House, which was most recently a cafe. But what I want to focus on in this episode is what Lower Merion did. Before I can tell you that, I want to go back to 1777. After George Washington crossed the Schuylkill in September 1777, he and the Continental Army set up camp here. This area was once called Price's Field. During the event, local residents wanted to draw exhibition goers away from the city and out of the main line, so they decided to build a horse racing track. The first plot of land was purchased by the Belmont Driving Park Association for $67,000. They bought it from William McDowell, the main driving force behind building the park. The track was about 80 feet wide and a mile long, extending all the way down Meeting House Lane. This map shows what the park looked like in its early years. You can see nearly 150 horse stalls lining the track. By 1890, a second half-mile track was added inside of the original one. Its peak membership, around 300 people. The clubhouse was a massive 3-story building where people gathered to watch the races. In 1917, the Grand Circuit, one of the most prestigious horse tours, was held in Lower Merion, drawing thousands to the venue. Unfortunately, sulky racing, a type of horse racing, became less popular, and the association was given an offer they couldn't refuse. In 1924, the land was sold to real estate developer Martin Maloney for about $300,000, which is about $5.6 million today. The land was then divided into 374 lots. After the Great Depression, construction began on the homes. The original clubhouse was moved and transformed into 2 residential houses. Here's one of them. Today, there is no racetrack, no clubhouse, no crowds, and no horse stalls lining the street. But the story lives on, buried beneath the streets of the neighborhood. Thank you for watching today's episode of Ram's Roots. All of my sources are available on screen now. Also, a massive thank you to the 2 homeowners who let me film outside their houses and showed me around. For HarritonTV, this has been Sam Franchik.
Thanks for that, Sam. Keep an eye out for the next Rams Roots on the rise and fall of Atlantic City.
We have one more show before the end of the year on June 10th.
For HarritonTV, I'm Tata Fofana.
And I'm Andrew Dew.
And this is the RAM Report.